Well, I honestly believe you've got to be totally brain dead.
Another 400 yards, you've got a turn very hard right.
There's a sense of adventure about it. You're going into the unknown, and
then 10 metres up, you've got to turn very hard left.
You're going to go into an area where you're going to be building bridges and making roads.
Right, here's your caution, your drop off. Drop off. Good, big caution.
The car's got to have the pressure put on it. The car's got to take it. So it's Gordon and myself. We've got to take the pressure too.
Your turn here, another caution. None of this is on the map, man.
The hubs are out.
No.
The Transpen is an international jungle challenge for four-wheel drive vehicles. It combines an adventure trek through some of Malaysia's most rugged terrain at the wettest time of the year with a series of competitive special stages to test driver and navigator skills. Vehicles fall into one of four categories: long or short wheelbase, modified and unmodified. In truth, most of the vehicles are modified in some way. Body lift kits, big Malaysian-made Silverstone mud tyres and snorkels for deep river crossings. Most of the first day is spent driving to Ipoh, an old tin mining centre halfway up the west coast of Malaysia. There, the convoy is treated to a royal welcome, complete with police escort, before settling down to enjoy some traditional Malaysian hospitality.
The sales of four-wheel drives as recreational vehicles represent a substantial portion of the overall motor sales. The reason is that people are under enormous amount of stress in high-density areas. Therefore, they buy this vehicle as an escape machine. That machine takes them back into nature, where they can become familiar again with the simple things of life.
It's not just to compete to win, it's to complete the event, not just to win. The win is just like a bonus. If you win, fine. If you don't win, you had a beautiful adventure.
Back again in his Toyota 4Runner is Australian Mel Blanc, winner of last year's event, teamed up with Gordon Trigg. Also here from East Malaysia is Zainal Abidin Zabli, former winner of the Transpen sister event, the Borneo Safari, and his co-driver is Kok Sin Yi, the current Borneo champion. The Japanese are back again too, and this year competitors have also come from Taiwan, from Spain and Germany. The Cameron Highlands is a resort area to the southeast of Ipoh. It's Sunday, so naturally there's a traffic jam. As we move further away from the city, roadside stalls reflect the local produce: sweet potatoes, satay, blowpipes and poison darts. Reminders that we are getting closer to the jungle. The Transpen is held in November at the height of the Malaysian monsoon. In this part of Malaysia, rainfall is measured in metres, not inches per year. That amount of rain can wreak havoc overnight, let alone during the 3 weeks since the route was last checked. We are travelling with the scouts ahead of the competitor convoy on our way to set up Special Stage 2. day, fully competitive special stages will test competitors' driving, navigation, recovery technique and teamwork. This one involves steep descents and tight turns, with a fairly leisurely DNF time of 12 minutes. That's the maximum time a team should take to finish. Anyone taking longer gets 0. With young Cock at the wheel, Zeinel puts in a good performance.
Cock is a good driver and he is a good mechanic too. He is attached to our service department. So anything happen to the vehicle, I don't have to worry. I got Cock there. To be a good team, there must be a good combination between the driver and co-driver as well.
The father and son team of Ramon and Israel Oliver, who race off-road Porsches back home in Spain, are finding the going a bit harder.
This car is not good. I want another car, with more power, because with this car we have a lot of work, but with another car it's less the work.
Mel and Gordon have been working hard all day, pulling competitors through the mud. Now it's their turn to compete.
The two events that we have run, I think were designed basically for a shorter wheelbase vehicle. I mean, the turns that we've had to do here on our cars has been pretty tight, you know, to the point where you've got to jump things to get your car to go around corners, and that's pretty hard on the car.
At the end of Special Stage 2, Zeinel is in first place with Mel second, but only by a few points. The other Australian forerunners, bush driver Reeders, who won the chance to compete, are in third and fourth, and the Germans in fifth. The Central Highlands area of Malaysia is dotted with timber camps, or kongsis, and crisscrossed with logging tracks. That's why it's been chosen for the Transpen. These tracks will form much of the off-road route to the event. During the dry season, from February to October, this kongsi works flat out. But even the logging shuts down for the monsoon.
Gumbo, what is it, the sauce called? Oh, what is that? It's not hot. It's not hot, it's very hot.
Invited in for breakfast and a jungle cappuccino, the expedition leaders make the decision to split into two convoys. One, carrying officials and media, will take the easy way around and wait on the other side of Special Stage 4. The rest of the main convoy, with all the competitors, will fight its way through the notorious border crossing area between the states of Kelantan and Terengganu. Splitting the convoy should help us to stay on schedule, but much will depend on the weather. The rains have been very heavy this year. Given time, the convoy can overcome almost any obstacle. But this sort of off-road driving can be dangerous, and the emphasis is always on safety. The river is in flood, the bridge destroyed, and no safe crossing either side. For the first time, the convoy faces the prospect of having to turn around. A general mood of despondency sets in until Gordon discovers firm ground directly off the end of the broken bridge.
Rosling, this is very hard.
Maybe a ramp could be built.
Never give up. No turning back for this expedition.
So, the convoy swings into bridge building mode. As the rain buckets down, it's a race against time and the rising river. Flash floods are common here.
Let's go! The water's already come up to 2 inches. Let's go!
By 2 o'clock, the ramp is ready. Chief Scout Peter Choi is the first to test it. rest of the convoy follows, and just in time. 6 kilometres down the road, just short of Special Stage 3, another washout.
We've got to get that winch cable on that Pajero up here.
Mel Blanc has seen it all before.
The bridge is gone, so we've now got to build a new bridge.
A snatch block is attached to an old stump on the far side so logs can be winched into position. Many hands make light work, and the call goes out for manpower. Time is the problem as we fall further behind schedule. We're supposed to meet the other convoy at 4 o'clock.
3:59. It's nearly, you know, time for a smoke, isn't it?
And we've got two special stages to do today.
Oh, yeah. You don't call this a special stage. You've got to be joking.
Meanwhile, the second convoy of officials and media has driven 300 kilometres around by main road and entered from the other side. The plan calls for the two convoys to meet at Special Stage 4, 40 kilometres away. And since this is the only road out for all vehicles, it's imperative this convoy gets through.
Off your light, I cannot see your tires. Off your light.
By 6 o'clock, the way is clear, but a major landslide further on proves to be impassable and forces a withdrawal to camp for the night. By now, the main convoy has managed to reach and set up Special Stage 3. Almost 2 kilometres of treacherous hill climb up a rocky, muddy and eroded logging track. It's difficult, but by no means impossible. As usual, none of the competitors is allowed to inspect the track before taking part. The Australian Toyota 4Runners show a certain flair over the river crossing near the start. Simon Wilkes almost losing control in the fast-flowing water. Mel has a good start and a dream run for most of the way.
We just didn't seem to be getting as much traction as we should have been getting. And the way the back of the car was moving around, it felt like we'd broken the front axle or front CV joint or something. Gordon and I trying to work out what the heck's going on. Not once did it bloody hit me that the back tyre had blown out. I don't think any of the other competitors believed that we got up there on 3 wheels.
Keep going. Go. Go. Go, go.
Zynel's Isuzu Ute, powered by a 2.8-litre diesel turbo, is ideal for hill climb events. Driving competitively in the special stages requires a combination of speed and skill, a balance of aggression and caution. And luck, as the car almost flips off a dirt bank.
My windscreen was blur. I don't know what happened. I can't see the road. All the spotlight was covered by the mud, so it's difficult for me to see the road.
Keep moving, come on!
Even the best can make mistakes, and Zynel's made one now. Instead of going left, Zynel has ploughed straight into the ruts and bogged just short of the finish. The camera lens, all fogged up and splattered with mud, gives an idea of the conditions, as co-driver Cock sets out with the winch cable to try and find an anchor point somewhere in the darkness.
We thought there was a winching point on the top of the hill. It is impossible for us to winch the vehicle up there. So I decided to push the car backward. Luckily, we managed to do it.
Zynel struggles in to finish 9th, a disastrous result which pushes him back to 3rd overall. Mel has moved up to 1st, Car 11, with Simon Wilkes and jungle man Mark Violet aboard, into second. Car 3 is not so lucky, tipping on its side at the same point where Zeinal almost rolled. It's one of the Malaysian entries, the top qualifiers from the Kuala Lumpur 4x4 Adventure Club's pre-event selection trials.
The driver's all right, yes?
Yes.
Ing Ho Han and Joseph Wong are fine, but probably feeling a bit sheepish as the first real accident of this year's Transpen.
Well, are you going to just push it to one side then, or what? Or literally turn it around?
We have to turn it around and then lower him down and back to the Kongsi.
It's grey and overcast and drizzling slightly as the media convoy breaks camp.
Okay, petrol, huh?
The main convoy is well out of radio range, and in the absence of any news, it can only be assumed that they are meeting obstacles at least as bad as we are. And as we are constantly reminded, this is the only way out.
With the monsoon on, you can never tell. If the rains wash out in hours.
If we're able to access this bulldozer we're talking about, do you think that's got a chance of success?
Yep, I should think so, because right now, if we get through this landslide, we don't know what's on the other side yet. I mean, further up.
The excavator makes short work of the first landslide, but the second slows it down. The construction camp manager estimates it would take 20 of his 10-ton lorries to move all the dirt that's blocking our way. But we haven't time for that. Although the distance between special stages 3 and 4 is only 15 kilometres, it has taken the main convoy many agonising hours to travel even a quarter of that. And then, only 7 kilometres short of special stage 4, it's all over.
Mate, this is the turning point. We can't get across this, and just after this is an avalanche.
The Transpen has never turned back before. Deflected onto alternate routes maybe, but never turned around.
We can get through there, but it will take us 3 days, most probably. So we are way behind schedule. So it's better than to head back, detour, to catch up with our schedule.
Well, of course, I'm very disappointed about that. This year, we thought we'd get there at last.
I wonder every year why I put myself through this.
As the convoy reluctantly turns around, concern centres on the weather, whether they can in fact get out and whether the repairs made on the way in will still be intact. And for Zeinal, the beginning of a problem that will haunt him for the rest of the Transpen.
One of the cylinder block is already out of order. Now I'm running on 3 cylinders capacity. That was happened when I did a river crossing. It was too deep for this car. Unfortunately, the water goes up to the roof and the snorkel sucked in the water.
I reckon we're in deep something starting with S. The river's far too high at the moment. The bridge that we made the other day is gone. We can't get round the other way, so I think we've got to wait till the bale of water goes down.
No one knows how long that might take, so the crews take the first chance to get some decent sleep in 30 hours. At dusk, the situation is improving, but a night crossing is ruled out as too dangerous.
So by first light, the minute there's a first light, we will attempt to cross. So 5 o'clock is the wake-up call. By 6 o'clock, everything must be packed and ready to move.
Although it rained heavily during the night, there's good news on 2 fronts. The roof didn't leak much, and the river hasn't risen. If anything, it's fallen a little. Bridge building is the first order of the day.
What Transpen is really about is the building up of relationships, tackling obstacles, solving problems together, and how a person will react under pressure.
The Transpen itself will show you a way to overcome a lot of things, you know. And if you are so stressed, to go back to nature, to feel the fresh air, not the haze or the pollution that you normally get, it's really peaceful.
I look upon the Transpen as more of an experience. You know, it's a lifetime experience. Well, I mean, once you've done it, and the comradeship, you know, you meet new people and you get to, you know their ideas and give your ideas and all this sort of stuff.
We have to walk together, and then we look at each other technique. We make friendship and try to learn each other's experience. So I learn from them, maybe they learn from us also.
I think we've got a tremendous group this year. Everybody is working very well together. Nobody is complaining, even though we have been stranded here for, what now, 48 hours. Everybody's in high spirit.
Have you got a tow? 20 ringgit. The army never pays.
With the river bridged, the convoy breaks free. Back to the sealed road and on to Special Stage 6. 4 and 5 have been sacrificed in order to get back on schedule. On the way, word reaches the second convoy, which also backtracks out of its end of the border crossing to catch up with the competitors at Special Stage 6.
Go. Where's the hill? Up there.
Another grueling hill climb. Because of his top score in Special Stage 3, when he finished on 3 wheels, Mel was first to run, but he may have drawn the short straw.
We took off down the mountain at 1,000,000 miles an hour, backwards. No matter what I did, it just took off. You know, I thought, hello, here we go. We're going to clean up all the blokes down the bottom of the hill.
Keep going, mate. You still got cable here. Next tree, next tree, next tree.
I mean, that stage, when the first runners went into there, it was that muddy, that slippery, it was impossible to even drive up that hill. You know, even with the winch going, it was all on winch power. The wheels just wouldn't gain any traction.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. DNF.
Well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it?
Second to attack the hill, Simon Wilkes and Mark Violet, currently lying third.
She's a really good event, a really good hill climb. It's a top event. I tell you what, it's going to kill the navigators.
As it turns out, the hill doesn't claim any human victims, but the Land Cruiser driven by Taiwanese team Ming Song Wang and Wu Chi Wang is surely dying. Its oil bleeding onto an already treacherous slope. With the track drying out, the Japanese team of Katsushige Ono and Kazuho Takita are the first to achieve a respectable distance.
I think more than camel trophy, it's more tough and more survival. Just keep going. Don't quit, just keep going. That's it.
On this stage, only if all competitors fail to finish will distance achieved gain pro rata points for individual teams.
Don't touch this car! あんまりいじんないでね。もう右足が震えてるんだ。I have to push the brakes.
As it got drier and drier and drier, the rear runners were getting further and further up the hill. It's no good having part of the competition going up there when it's wet and the slippery is all blazing, and then another part of the competitive going up there when it's as dry as anything, and anybody else could have drove up the thing.
On the drier track, the Germans do well too, but no one has yet been able to conquer the hill within the allotted time. The winches are just too slow. Waiting for his turn, Zainal has been working out a strategy to beat the hill and the DNF time.
I said to myself, no point winching. If I do winching, I will be DNF. Because the time given is only 15 minutes, considering the distance is quite too far. After rain, I mean the soft ground will be on the top probably 2 or 3 inches. So you must dig them away and rerun again.
He really give it heaps to get up there, but I mean that vehicle is specifically set up for this event in the Borneo event. And I mean his young navigator, well, you know, he jumped out of the truck and each time he'd go to grab the winch cable, Zainal's car would go further up the hill. Well, young cock, he run right to the top. You know, and Zainal couldn't understand why when he come back he was totally exhausted. Well, I don't blame him.
Zainal is the only competitor to finish, gaining a maximum 60 points for the stage while everyone else gets 0.
I don't think it's fair enough, but since it's already in the regulation, if one get through and the others DNF, means they shouldn't be given any points. But if everybody DNF, it's fair enough to give everybody points, you see.
Arrived late that day to find the nearby Sungai Jin flowing fast and high. Desperate to get close to the action, Scout Storeman Norman Ching makes a dash for the other side. Second car makes it, but only just. The third stalls in midstream, and a desperate rescue is executed before it can be swept downriver. The remaining cars had to backtrack to find a safer crossing. And later that night, the Transpen is finally reunited in time for a rescheduled special stage 6 to be held first thing in the morning.
Oh, must you? I'm really not a morning person.
The mist soon clears and the day begins to heat up. This stage is a 2-car team event over 5 kilometres. It's designed to test the ability of teams to work together, clearing obstacles, starting with a creek crossing, then a hill climb, followed by a bog hole, and finally bridge building. Mel and Zainal have entered together, but have drawn last spot in the ballot. The German team of Matthias Bullhaus and Ralph Kwiatkowski has joined forces with Spaniards Ramon and Israel Oliver.
It's a good experience because I like the jungle, I like the people, the mud, the terrain, the different terrain, because here I have things that in Spain never in the life can have these things, you know.
I'm coming here to this event to have a very nice expedition, have fun, meeting international people, and go with them for an adventure.
At the top of the hill climb, tragedy strikes when Matthias slips off the track. No one is injured, but the accident costs him a hard-earned 5th place.
I come up the hill, the bag comes, and the tire behind go up, choke, and wow, nearly go down the hill.
The bush driver Rita team is the first to actually finish, coming home just inside the allotted time of 30 minutes. Their efforts will win them 3rd place today, but one of the vehicles has been damaged.
Why are you still a drive? Because the river crossing.
See, he's gone, mate. The whole diff's gone.
Whose?
Mine.
I pulled him with the snatch'em strap the whole way.
Brake, did it? Yeah, it's gone, mate. That's it. 2-wheel drive. That was fantastic. Yes!
The Malaysian police Land Rovers, Ismail Ibrahim and Mahmoudi Said in car 14, and Abdul Wahab Bintang and Zulkifli Aidan in car 15, complete the event in an amazing 14 minutes flat. Along with some others, the police elected not to build the bridge, driving instead over the single log to save time. It proves to be a good decision, and they are set to win this stage convincingly. Their time almost half of that of any other team. The two Japanese cars, competing as a team in this, their second Transpen, put on a very disciplined show. It's up to Mel and Zeinal, fierce competitors in most events, best of buddies in this one, to try and best the police Land Rovers.
So it only looks like there's only two bad sections. Yes. That looks like it could be the hill climb and this bridge building.
I think a hill climb is not a problem for us.
So long as you can get up, we can get up.
Yes.
We hope.
Not only we hope, we must.
We will.
We will.
I'm sitting here.
When I found out that he was coming over here, that really made it for me. You know, he's got a very positive attitude. You know, the other day there with that hill climb, he said, "I will not use a winch." Yeah, he tried his hardest and he kept going at it and going at it and going at it. He's like a bulldog with a bone.
Up there, mate.
In fact, from 1992, I have learned a lot from the Australian. They are very, very good in terms of driving, as well as recovery technique and all that. They are very, very good.
They said to watch on the sides of the tracks when we're going up the hill, okay, on your side. Very dangerous, he said.
Do you think it's just a case of reading your road book, reading through the road book to see where you may have to winch and, you know, in a particular section, and then trying to prepare yourself and your car driver for that situation?
Dip lock?
Not yet.
Don't go over that side. Now. Here's the bob. Here's the bob. Go. I think he's taken the wrong side. What do you reckon?
I don't know.
Get out, I'll get out. Wait there, wait there.
The 60 points Zeinal received for his incredible hill climb have put him well in front of Mel.
Go!
Zeinal getting stuck in the bog hole ends any chance they might have had of beating the police.
We've got 17 minutes on the dot. This way.
But Mel's problem is that because he's teamed up with Zeinal, they will end up with equal points anyway.
He's out. That was his mistake, not ours. This way. You're right, keep going. Bloody steer. If the wheels are turned, the wheels are all up.
No matter how hard he tries, Mel can't catch Zeinal on this stage.
Right, mate. Come on, you're going well. We're going well. Come on. You're on the edge of your seat or what? Not yet. There you go. Come on, Zeinal.
Hey! Okay, go. Go. Come on. Let's go and go.
Mel is very familiar to me, and we know each other since 1992. That's why I have decided to pick Mel as my team partner.
So I've had some involvement with Zeinal and young Cox in Borneo, in the Borneo Safari. They drove very well over there. They've got the experience, they've got the knowledge, the local knowledge of the country, and they've got a very well-prepared vehicle. He's actually good at what he does. Fantastic.
Quick, come on. Under.
Round. Over. Hook on. We're out of time.
No, we're not. We've got bloody 5 minutes. Okay. Let's go. Go, 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 go!
Mel and Zeinl come in second, well behind the Land Rovers.
Come on, go in there. Go in there. Keep going. Whoa, hold on.
1 day and 2 special stages to go, 29.5 points the difference between Mel and Zeinl. About halfway down mainland Malaysia's east coast is the resort area of Shirati. It's famous for luxury resorts, beautiful beaches and a friendly, relaxed lifestyle. And there are millions of coconut trees providing a cheap meal, if you have a trained monkey.
He is a coconut.
The whole drive, he said, oh, when I find the tree, I go up and take this coconut.
All jokes aside, it's a serious fall. Matthias, still trying to forget his disastrous run yesterday, now learns that his co-driver Ralph is out of the event.
It's pressure here and pressure here. Two. This one is okay, but this one is a bit serious. Go!
Beginning with a Le Mans-style dash to the car, Special Stage 10 will test the vehicles on a 5-kilometre sand course along the shoreline.
I must maintain my position. I cannot afford to lose the event because 29 points is good enough.
After some sand obstacles and a beach sprint, competitors must negotiate a slalom course before making another dash up the beach to a U-turn at the halfway point and back the same way. Even on 3 cylinders, Zeinl and Koch make it look easy, but for others, it's much harder, even impossible.
Going into the last 2 special stages, we were about 29.5 points behind. So to beat him, we needed to win these 2 last special stages, but we also needed Zeinl to DNF or not be placed in a position at all to keep his numbers down. And he was able to continue on, Zeinl, and well, I got first in the first special stage, and he came in second, I think, in that special stage. He only gave me 60 points, but apparently somewhere along the line they reckon I hit a post or a peg or something, so he lost 5 points. So I got 55 points and he got 50 points.
Fourth placed Australian team Nigel Saunders and Andrew Olive came home well, only to receive a DNF for not returning via the slalom. Simon Wilkes and Mark Violet tried a different tactic. They had to. Remember, the front diff is gone and the car is only in 2-wheel drive. It's a bad stage for the bush drivers. Car 12 disqualified, car 11 a DNF. So 3rd and 4th positions remain unchanged. The final special stage is a couple of circuits of the local motocross track with a novel twist. Halfway around, vehicles must reverse park and swap drivers. At last, the co-drivers will get a chance to strut their stuff. Cars run in reverse order of merit based on placings in the previous stage, so Zeinl will run second last and Mel last. With his co-driver safely in hospital, Matthias elected to continue alone. Nobody protested the gutsy journey. Mel has managed to close the gap, but only by 5 points. It's all or nothing between him and Zeinl now.
I told my co-driver, when you take over my position to drive, so I told him not to go on high speed. I don't want the vehicle to be damaged because we cannot afford to face any DNF on that particular stage.
He has done the changeover about 10 seconds quicker than the Japanese. It still keeps on going the same. He'll just get a bit over 3 minutes, which will be horribly quick.
From the special stage 3, I've been worried all the way because of the machine problem. The engine might be blown anytime. So before we reach the finishing box, I just said to myself, thanks God, we made it.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Thank you. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Mal beats us. We missed by 4.
Well, the last special stage, we decided that Gordon would drive first, and if there's any time sort of required to pick up, hopefully I could pick it up by driving second. When we changed sides, Gordon went into the passenger seat and I went into the driver's seat, and Gordon was looking at the stopwatch. So the whole way around the course, he's sort of telling me to go, 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 and like, get your finger out. This is what we're doing, and our time was quite good. No problems, would have been Zinal, hands down, no worry. Except the last corner was a very, very tight left-hander. We were going pretty quickly, and as we went around the corner, I suddenly lost control of the car because the right front-end tyre had rolled off the bead. You've just got to keep going, you know, you sort of hope to goodness you can keep control of the car and get it through to the finish line. If you can do that, well, you're in with points.
Next year, the boost driver have to bring in 4 units to beat me.
I'm retiring this year, mate. I've had enough. No good.
It's only a job.